right, I'm Joel Grimes. I'm a commercial advertising photographer. I've been doing this for about 40 years. And I'm here at PhotoPlus Expo 2017. I have a couple of classes on the Canon stage. Also, I did a photo walk last night. I also did a platform on lighting, which I love to teach about lighting. Take the mystery out of lighting, or master the light, or I have a bunch of titles that I use for that. I like to encourage young people or say young photographers, new photographers, to follow their dream. So this summer I took a 3-month, 100 days out in the field, across America, 13,000 miles, photographing Harley riders. And this is one of the portraits. This guy right here. Oh, sorry about that. Okay. This is one of the portraits I did this summer. So what I did was I took not only the bikes, the Harley bikes. I did some beautiful shots of them. I really keyed on portraits. This is shot with a Canon 5D SR, 50 megapixel camera, but I used 3 plates. Shifting in this case, was shifting at 50 millimeter tilt shift. Shift it up, shoot a plate, middle, shoot a plate, all the way down, shoot a plate. Then I merge all those together to create one final image, which is about 130 megapixel capture. That is a huge file. So the resolution is amazing. So, and the reason why I do that is to have the impact of that to the viewer. This is about 44 by 60 inches. I've also printed these 60 by 90 inches. And I do that at 200 dpi, and there's hardly no interpolation up. It's native resolution. All right, so for my lighting, I'm using one light, a 24-inch beauty dish. I put it about 24 inches from my subject, right over the top of the camera. I can do this with speed lights in an indoor scenario, which is pretty easy. Outdoors, I've shot against biker bars on the shaded side of a biker bar, or a semi-truck, or an alley, or whatever. In that case, you need a little more power. So I have some Einsteins that I use. Also, I've just purchased some Kodak's AD600s with high-speed syncing. But really, this is pretty simple. One light overhead. So one of the things I say is that photographers should not think like photographers. When you think like a photographer, you get very narrow vision. So I teach how to think like an artist, which I think is a lot better, because then there's no boundaries. And you don't have to deal with the traditional concepts that we put in front of us, and then we're kind of bound by that. I like to have freedom to create without someone's telling me this is how you should do it. I shoot really wide-angle portraits. I center my subjects. I do things that you say, well, that's not right. That's not the way you should be doing a photograph. I learned the traditional way of photographing, but I like to go outside that. So I always try to get people to think like an artist. I believe that each one of us is unique. We have something to offer. We're a creative force. I'm colorblind. You say that could be a handicap. It's actually an asset, because now I create images that are unique to me. And isn't that what we want? Unique people? That's what we want, musicians, right? We don't want copycats. We want unique people. So I get people to think, as they create images, follow your intuition. It'll never lead you astray, because it comes from you. That's the most important thing. So I teach that. I talk a lot about marketing, how to get and make a living in photography. So I am a commercial advertising photographer. I pound the streets, knocking on ad agencies' doors. That's not easy. You got to learn how to overcome your fear of rejection. And we're all weak, fragile, and secure. We're human. So I teach a lot about that, the marketing side, and really, if you want to make a living at it, you got to learn that. So, if you look at the best photographers that ever have come before us, the master photographers, we might say that they're geniuses, or creative geniuses. I doubt it. What they did, though, is they outworked their competition. They took something and spent a lifetime doing it. So Ansel Adams, Henry Carter Poisson, Irving Penn, they were amazing artists, but really they outworked their competition. So this summer, I was photographing Harley riders. I was about 40 days into it, and I was doing a Facebook Live. Someone asked me, why are you sharing all your techniques live before you even finish the project? And they said, they might steal the project from you. And I said, come get it. Try to steal it from me. Because I've already got 40 days in the field. So to catch up with me, you got to get 40 days. And I was out 100 days total this summer. I probably have another 60 days before I think I'm going to be close to being done. That's a lot. So I always say it's not how brilliant you are, how technically proficient you are. It's how many hours you put into your craft or your whatever it is that you're trying to do. So as a kid, I was drawing. I like to build stuff, carve. I guess inside of me, I had a little bit of an artistic bent. And so when photography came along, I took a elective in high school. And I was like, this is kind of fun. It's kind of a technical, but it's artistic. And I fell in love with it. But it wasn't until I was in college that a professor got me to think differently about photography. And that was, it's not just a camera is just not a tool to capture the world or your adventures. It's an artistic outlet. And so that was 40 years ago. So for 40 years, I've been chasing that artistic side of being a artist with a camera. When we look at the competition around us, there's a lot of competition. So there's competition in sports. You want to be a football player, you start maybe in the little pee-wee leagues, you work your way through, and only a small percentage move on to each level. Same thing with photography. There's a small percentage that move on. And again, the secret is how much time I spend on my craft, how many hours I put in it, how hard I work. That's the secret. So if you play the guitar and you practice for 40 years, 6 hours a day, you think you'd be pretty good? Yeah. That's how you get good. Practice. So that's how I encourage people to do. Practice. Repeat the project. Repeat the process over and over again. So in a way, I look at myself as a life coach. My job, actually, my passion is to encourage people to follow their dream. And so here's what I believe, without a shadow of a doubt. You set a goal, you want to work for National Geographic, or you want to shoot celebrities in Hollywood, you can reach that goal. It's possible. People are going to tell you, oh, you can't make a living in photography. Oh, that's too hard, too much competition. And I say, that's naysayers. They don't want to encourage you. I'm not going to encourage you. So I say, you can do it. So that's what I do, is I'm constantly meeting people. I say, follow your dream.